Morning, everyone. It's Tuesday morning, and we're here at Sarver Hollow shelter. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and we're just getting up and watching the sunrise, got a little fire going over there in the fire pit, and got over here we got breakfast cooking on the table. But yeah, just a beautiful morning here this morning in the Virginia mountains. So we're getting up and getting ready to go, and getting ready to get back on trail. It's a blue sky today. Like I said, a bit colder, probably got down to low 40s last night, but we were inside the shelter, so we were good and warm. Again, we were the only ones here at the shelter, so had the place all to ourselves, which was kind of nice. Alright, here's our view for the morning. Made it back up onto the trail from the shelter. Took us about 25 minutes to get back up. And here's our trail today. Just walking around along that ridge line on top of a Sunken Creek mountain. One of the things about today we'll be seeing is, as we walk this ridge line, we will be going over a pretty common area of the Appalachian Trail called Dragon's Tooth. And I don't know about you, but it sounds like a cool place, but it doesn't sound like a great place to hike. Been walking this ridge line now for about an hour, and it hasn't been too bad. Temperature's pretty good, the sun is warm, but there's a cool breeze, and been rocky, but then we also get some of these smoother sections as well. So haven't really checked our mileage yet. I don't know how our time is doing, but it really doesn't matter today. Don't have a big distance. I think we're planning on doing another 12 miles, and haven't really looked too much at the terrain. I just know we'd go down this ridge for quite a while, so we're gonna walk up here for probably another hour or so, and then see if we can find a spot to stop and eat a little snack. It's been 3 weeks on the trail now, 22 days, and man, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like we've been on the trail for a couple months already. It's hard to believe. We left Damascus 3 weeks ago yesterday, and Damascus seems so far behind us, but still got a few miles to go yet, so I'm just looking forward to getting out of Virginia by the end of April. So Virginia is a big state, and takes about a quarter of the trail, I think. So yeah, hope you can stay with us the whole way. Got a deer right in front of us.
There's two of them.
There's two of them. There's another one there on the trail. wildlife we've seen in a couple of days, but I think that makes 13 of them so far. Alright, it's been almost 2 hours and we've just been walking along this ridge line with rocks the whole way. Gorgeous views, but a very difficult trail. Is the Eastern Continental Divide. So to the west, out to the left, water runs down to the Mississippi River into the Gulf of Mexico, and over here to the right down into the Atlantic Ocean. So pretty major stop along the trail, Eastern Continental Divide. And from here we're going to go ahead and drop down fairly quickly. Good little down coming up, and we're dropping down the east side of the Continental Divide heading towards the Atlantic Ocean. We won't get that far, but we're going to drop down this valley, and about 2.5 miles ahead there's a shelter. We're going to plan on hitting that for lunch, so hope you guys are down there and have the burgers on the grill for us. Alright, we made it down off the ridge and off the rocks, and now we're just heading on down through the woods, and trail just got a whole lot better, so hopefully we can make a little time and get down there for lunch. Alright, it's still a little bit past 12. I think we're just about a half mile from the lunch spot, and just trail's actually getting really nice. Soft pine needles and a little stream running along next to the trail, so yeah, temperature's good, probably mid-60s. Alright, it's about 1:30, and we actually made it down to the bottom of the valley that we were sitting above today at 10:30. And we stopped and about 12:30 had a little lunch, and stayed for about a half hour, refilled with water, and then made it way all the rest of the way down to the bottom here. Beautiful trail, pretty much all the way down from the shelter there where we had lunch. And just beautiful pine forests with soft ground, pretty much going downhill the whole way. So, alright, pleasant surprise for the day. Really needed it today, but we got down to the road and hit pretty much our first what's called trail magic, where somebody comes, it looks like Kringle, whoever that is, came and left a cooler full of drinks. We got Dr. Pepper, Sunkissed, Cherry Coke, and there's even some beer in there, and some milk bones for any four-legged hikers that might be there. The other cool thing is they left a trash can. We've got about 2.5 days worth of trash, taking up a lot of Kindle's packs, so we'll be able to have a cool drink and dump some trash. Whew, it was a climb. You can see off in the distance there's a dark ridge. That's where we walked all this morning, along those rocky cliffs. So this ridge is not rocky. Nice grassy old roadbed that somebody mowed. Heading up to the top of the hill up here, coming up to the Audie Murphy War Memorial. top of this hill. There's Kendall. And there it is. Audie Murphy, born in Kingston, Texas, died near this site in an airplane crash. America's most decorated veteran of World War II. He served in the European Theater, 15th Infantry Regiment, 3rd Infantry Division, and earned 24 decorations, including the Medal of Honor, Legion of Merit, Distinguished Service Cross, and 3 Purple Hearts. He was survived by his wife Pamela and 2 sons, Terry Michael and James Shannon. The site was erected in 1974 by the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 5311, Christiansburg, Virginia. Get a pretty good view of that ridge we walked this morning. And we walked down through that valley. And then back up to that ridge. That point up there is where the war memorial is. And then we walked since then along that ridge and then down to here. So I'm not sure where we're headed, but I'm thinking we're going back down. Alright, it's about 6 o'clock and we're still working our way to the shelter. Coming down into this valley, there's a road down in there. We cross that road and then the shelter is up over that. So we get down to the bottom. Apparently there's some campsites, but no water. So the stream is there, but we're not supposed to. They say not to drink out of it for some reason. There must be a farm or something up above it. So anyway, we'll have to decide either to camp down there if Kendall's too tired, or push on up that hill to find the next shelter, which does have water. So we'll have to make that decision once we get down to the bottom. Well, it's 6:15 and we made it to the road, and Kendall decided that we're going to head for the shelter, which is a mile up and then about 0.3 off the trail. So still got daylight left, 6:15, so we're going to go ahead and get up there. We also had some hikers say there's a campsite just past the shelter where you don't have to go down off the trail. So I have to see how long it takes us to get up there, and we may just prefer to take the campsite at the water source, depending on how much further it is. So, alright, we'll see you up at the top of the hill. A little bit of good news about today is that Dragon's Tooth isn't until tomorrow. I got my distances mixed up when I was looking at the map, but Dragon's Tooth will be about 3 miles past the shelter where we're staying. So unfortunately you guys don't get to see Dragon's Tooth today. Good morning. It's Wednesday, April the 14th, and it's about 6:45 in the morning, and got in last night, found this beautiful campsite. This just got set up just before dark. Ended up doing 16 miles yesterday. And it just wasn't any good campsites with water or anything. We're just high on ridges, and that we were pretty tired when we got in, so we just set up and went straight to bed. But yeah, it's another blue sunny sky today. It's supposed to cloud over and start raining this afternoon, but Dragon's Tooth about 3 miles away, so hopefully we can get packed up this morning and head up there. So got a little breakfast cooking here, just having hot cocoa and some oatmeal this morning, and then we'll eat some breakfast bars on the trail. So alright, we're gonna go ahead and get this packed up, and we'll see you up on Dragon's Tooth. Alright, we're just about ready to leave camp, but I want to make sure our water bottles are full, so just going to come down here to the creek and get our water. I'm just going to show you where we get our water at the campsite here. So So this is our water faucet. The spring that just runs down the hill. So we just come and try to find a good spot. Usually I try to find a spot where it's flowing like over a log or something. It just makes it easier for the drop when I fill my bag like this. The bag can hang and fill a lot quicker. So I'm just going to take this little spot here. And just fill it up. Alright, so there's the ridge we walked yesterday afternoon. We walked down to about there, and then down into the valley. Can't really see the bottom of it. Can't really see how deep it is, and then we came back up the other side of this hill over here. And now this morning, we were back up on this side, looking down over the valley. Beautiful day. I was just telling Kendall a little bit ago that these Virginia mountains are by far harder than any training hike that we've ever done, whether it be in the Ozarks or even in southern Georgia. It's just these hills where it's just one ridge after another. It's been very difficult, but yet spirits are better today. A little more difficult day emotionally yesterday, but today our spirits are back up again, and yeah, it's hard, but we can do this. This section of video is for anyone that thinks walking 2,100 miles is easy.
There's no walking here. This is all climbing.
'Kendall just pointed out that we made it to the head of the dragon, which is a lot of work, but she also reminded me that dragons have really long snouts. So we have a ways to go yet before we can find his teeth. Two hours out of camp, and we're still doing dragon scales. We're getting close to the top though. Should be just up ahead. You've made it to the teeth of the dragon. 2.5 hours from camp. Well, I hope you're tired of hearing about the dragon, because we are tired of hiking it. Okay, we are made it down the hill into the valley, and we're doing this little road walk here. Actually called yellow blazing because of the yellow stripe, but walking down the road about 1/2 mile. There's a little grocery store down here, and they have a little deli with burgers and stuff like that, so we're gonna stop in there and have a little lunch. Too far out of the way. A little bit of a road walk, but that's alright. But the funny thing is, that ridge above it is the ridge that we walked on this morning right after breakfast. So we were less than half a mile away from it all day long. But anyway, let's eat and got back on the trail. We had enough lunch for about 5 or 6 people, and even packed some more food out for the next 2 days. And so we have 2 days and probably about 20 or so miles, depending on how much we finish up today. Alright, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just looked at the map, and we got about 5 more miles to do before the next shelter, so we'll have to push on to get those 5 miles in, but we should be able to get in there hopefully by 7. Okay, well, we made it through the farmer's fields, and as soon as we did, the rain started, so got our rain gear on, keep our gear dry, and we're walking on, heading north. So alright, it's Wednesday evening, and we made it to the shelter. Get about 12-mile day today. Haven't done the math yet, but I think it's about 12 miles, but I got to see a lot of cool stuff today. Obviously went over the dragon this morning, got to see Dragon's Tooth, and then down the other side was actually more difficult than going up the first side, but yeah, we saw a lot of neat stuff. Got to have lunch at the store. I kind of need to get in and do that, and actually found a shelter tonight. We're staying in a shelter. A couple other people there staying with us. A couple people camping, a couple people in the shelter, but it's not too bad. We actually decided to shelter and not set up the tents because it is raining. The ground is wet, but it's supposed to clear off again tonight and be sunny again tomorrow, which is perfect. We got 2 more short days. Tomorrow will be a short day, maybe about 9-10 miles. But we do also have, tomorrow is a really neat spot called McAfee Knob, which is one of the most photographed areas of the Appalachian Trail. And then that'll be Thursday, and then after Thursday, then we'll be into Daleville. And we'll be doing a town, hopefully one night in Dalesville, and resupplying, and then back out on the trail. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm filtering water right now, and we're going to get our beds set up and turn in for the night, and hopefully have a good night's sleep, and be back out on the trail tomorrow. So hope you guys have a good night, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.